You've probably seen gyms charge $200, $300, or even $500 a month and thought to yourself, who in their right mind would pay that much just to work out? I mean, it seems crazy, but on the flip side, maybe you've been tempted by the idea of luxury equipment, the private trainers or the spa-like amenities and atmosphere, and wonder maybe it's actually worth the price tag. Well, in this video, we're gonna break down what you really get when you pay for an expensive gym membership and whether it's truly worth it. And at what point does the cost simply not make sense anymore? All right, let's talk about the myth of expensive is better. We've been trained to be consumers our whole lives, and we've been taught that higher price equals higher value. Psychologists actually have a name for it. They call it the price quality heuristic. If something costs more, we assume it must be better. I mean, you see it everywhere. On airplanes, you've got coach, business, and first class. It's the same plane, the same pilot, but first class passengers feel like they're getting something special, little bigger seats, maybe a wet, moist towel to wipe your face. I mean, courtside tickets at an NBA game, same thing, right? People will pay thousands, sometimes tens of thousands for these seats. Even though everyone in the building, they're watching the same game, there's no difference. Cars are another one, a base model truck, a luxury SUV, they both get you from point A to point B, but one costs 3, sometimes 4 times more. And it's because of the little badge on the front, because it's a platinum or, a gold or whatever. And this mindset can be applied to gyms too. A $500 a month gym, it feels like status, and a lot of times it is. They got marble showers, smoothie bars, chrome dumbbells. People love saying, yeah, I train over there. That's my gym. They automatically get some status. But here's the reality. The biggest status symbol, it's not the gym, it's not the car, it's not where you go for supper, it's the body you walk around in every single day. Most people don't care about what gym card is in your wallet. They care about how you look, how strong you are, and how much energy you bring into a room. That's your personality, that's your aura, that's what you carry with you. This is why I love bodybuilding and training. Every person you see and meet knows that you put in the hard work and you are a hard worker, because you can't build a body like this overnight. I want you to think about it like this. You can build muscle at Planet Fitness for $10 a month, just as effectively as at some expensive gym, Equinox, or one of these crazy expensive ones for $300, $400, or $500. The weights don't know the difference. They don't know what the monthly fees are. A 200-pound barbell weighs the same no matter where you lift it. Your effort is the real currency, not the price tag. Now, don't get me wrong, I love big gyms. When I travel, I'll hunt them down. I'll look for the biggest one in town. I actually Google that. And I love the tall ceilings, the high ceilings, tons of machines, big guys in here, that big warehouse feel. It fires me up, it gets me motivated. But it's not the cost that matters, it's the environment. When I go to a big gym like that, there's usually gonna be a lot of people in really good shape. And those big gyms are usually in the cities. And I mean, there's a lot of serious athletes in there. There's people that are just starting to, and I love seeing that as well. It's motivation, it's drive. I know people want to make changes, and it makes me want to train harder. And it gives me hope that actually some people out there care about their health, because you know what? I see a lot that don't. And at the end of the day, expensive doesn't equal better. It equals different. And the only thing people really notice is the body that you build, not the membership fees you pay. Okay, so let's talk about what you're actually paying for at these expensive gyms. Because if results don't come from the price tag, what are you paying for at a high-end gym? Usually it's comfort, amenities, and convenience. And let's talk about the amenities first. Saunas, steam rooms, eucalyptus towels, smoothie bars. They're all really nice. I love a good smoothie, especially with peanut butter in it. But ask yourself, is any of this gonna help you burn fat, build muscle, or improve your health? Maybe a little, but not that much really. They make the place feel like a spa but they don't change your body for you. And I mean, convenience is a little factor that maybe I can buy into, because sometimes you're not paying for a luxury, you're paying for the location. And if you work downtown, say you're in a high rise, you got a big hotshot job and there's a gym downstairs, but it's insanely expensive, but you know what? You could go there on your lunch hour. Then you know what? Maybe that makes sense. If you're gonna go there and be consistent, and you're more likely to go than if you have to drive 30 minutes after you get home to save money at a cheaper gym, well, that's where the price might actually be worth it. Because like I said, the consistency beats everything. When kids ask me, how do you get big arms? How do you get a big chest? I always tell them, just stick with it. No matter when you start, no matter where you start, the journey is your own, and you're gonna believe in yourself when you gain that 5 pounds, when you gain that 10 pounds, but that's never gonna happen without the consistency. Now back to the gym, there's another thing, the equipment. High-end gyms often brag about having dozens of machines, but most people don't use 80% of them. We all have our favorites, I know I sure do. And you don't need 5 types of leg presses. I like to stick with the basics, barbells, dumbbells, bench press, the space to move, and that's it. I don't like a gym that's too crowded. And I mean, I've seen gyms with $500,000 worth of equipment and half of it's got dust on it. And I've seen guys in their garage with a gym like I have in the back here that I bought when I first had my kids, so I wasn't spending too much time away from them. I could come down here, get 45 minutes in, and they're twice as strong and in twice as good a shape as the fancy places. Because you gotta remember, it's not the toys, it's not about the fancy gear, it's about the work you put in. That's what really matters. Okay, let's talk about when paying more can make sense. Now, just because expensive doesn't automatically equal better, it doesn't mean that there's never a reason to pay more. Sometimes it does make sense. The first thing I like to think about is the environment. If walking into a high-end facility where everyone's pushing hard motivates you, maybe there's a lot of athletes in there, then that's worth it. If there's a lot of people that have achieved the goal that you want to, and you can spend time with those people and it makes you achieve your goals faster, then that's worth it. That energy can be contagious and you can learn a lot in there. And I mean, I've trained in some serious bodybuilding gyms where the atmosphere alone pushes me to do more, to push myself more than I thought I ever could. The first gym I went to was Gold's Gym back home. And I walked into that place, I asked my parents for a rowing machine and they bought me a Gold's Gym membership and I was hooked. I was 15 years old. I walked into this place. I felt like I was home. There was huge guys everywhere. And I was a 15-year-old kid. And I mean, a lot of these guys competed. There was a big bodybuilding scene where I grew up back east. And I mean, it was unbelievable. And I mean, me and JJ just went to a gym called Tiger Gate in Bellevue, Seattle. And it was sick. There was guys in there, young guys in there, ripped with their shirts off. There was power lifters over in the corner, moving the big weights and slamming things around. And I mean, even the owner's little dog was running around, grabbing a couple of pets and getting a little bit of attention, right? It was great. JJ and I went there. It was small, it was a little bit crowded, but we had a killer workout. We met some young guys that were just killing it. And I mean, that was worth it. We paid for the day pass. I can't remember what it was, 20 bucks or something, but that was totally worth it. And I would pay to train there, you know, no matter what the cost, just because of the environment. Now, secondly, another reason why it can be worth paying the extra money is specific needs. Now, maybe you're into Olympic lifting, maybe you need the proper platforms, maybe you're training for powerlifting and need specialty bars, or, you know, you want coaching for accountability. And I mean, if the gym provides that you're gonna help support your goals, then paying more makes sense. And I mean, the last thing is friction. Sometimes paying more removes excuses. And if the expensive gym is closer, has better hours, or the layout makes your workout smoother, and it's worth the extra money. Because if it keeps you consistent, you'll actually see results. Okay, now I want to talk about the real value of a gym. And here's where we get to the heart of it. The real value value of a gym is not the cost. It's not the size. It's not the perks. It's how consistent you are in using it. A $20 a month gym you use 4 times a week is worth way more than a $200 a month gym that you show up to twice a month. I've learned this firsthand. When I worked in Russia, there wasn't a gym anywhere. I was out in the middle of nowhere in Nizhny Novgorod, and there was no gyms, so I knew I had to bring something with me. So I packed these resistance bands. I had 4 of them. They had different thicknesses, and I mean, they cost like 20 bucks. I think I got them from Walmart. They fit in my bag. Of course, I couldn't take any dumbbells, and I trained with those bands and stayed in decent shape. I didn't even have a gym. And you know what's funny? When I first started working on the oil rig, I carried around those old spin lock dumbbells. You remember you put the plates on? And I mean, I think the plates were like 10 pounds and I could just squeeze 100-pound dumbbells on there, I remember. But I was out in a shack. I was down on the geologist end. The boys that work on the rigs know that was the tiny end. And there was no gym. You know, there was no spa, there was no smoothie bar, that's for sure. I had my old blender with me, but I didn't make any excuses. It was just me, the rusty plates that I'd throw in the back of the truck, and the will to keep going. And here's the thing, those workouts counted. I stayed in great shape. They kept me strong, they kept me focused. And then when I had the luxury of a gym, I was in town, which you gotta remember, if you're making excuses and you can't get to the gym where there's girls and Lululemon and big weights and motivation, then you're just letting yourself down. Like, come on. I worked out in a shack, out on a drilling rig. You don't need luxury to make progress. And so when somebody says they don't want to go to the gym because it's too expensive, I think back to those moments. And if I could train in the middle of nowhere with nothing but, you know, some bands or some rusty dumbbells, then anyone can find a way. The real investment isn't the building or all the amenities. It's the mindset. You gotta remember that. Now, here's one of the biggest overlooked parts of the gym where value is concerned, and it's the community and the courage that people have going in there. Because you gotta remember, a lot of people aren't in shape. And when you walk into a gym, you're not just going in there to lift weights. You're surrounding yourself with people who are trying to improve themselves. And that's powerful. I see people who are overweight and struggling, and I'm proud of them because I know how much courage it can take to walk through those doors, especially when you feel like people are judging you. But here's the truth. Most of us aren't judging you. Yeah, there's always gonna be that jerk, but most people respect the hell out of you for showing up. And the few who don't, and they're judging you, well, who cares? They're not the people you wanna have in your life anyway. I know I surely don't. And a gym can become a second home. A lot of my friends back home, back east, we all went to the gym and I met great guys in there. I'm still friends with some of them today. Matter of fact, my best friends came from there. And I mean, you're gonna meet training partners, you're gonna find accountability, you're gonna build friendships. And if your current circle is holding you back, then maybe joining a gym can literally shift your environment and connect you with people chasing the same goals. Now, you can't put a price on that. That's literally priceless. So, you know, a $20, a $10, or a $200 or a $300 gym membership really has the potential to change your life. Expensive gyms aren't automatically better, and cheap gyms aren't automatically worse. What matters is showing up, putting in the work, and staying consistent. And listen, if a luxury gym motivates you, keeps you accountable, then great, join. It's perfect. But if a $20 membership or a garage setup like I have, or a set of bands or dumbbells or whatever keeps you training, then that can work too. The magic isn't in the facility. The magic is in you. And the most valuable thing you can invest in, it's not a membership card, it's your health. Because the truth is, you're either gonna pay now or you're gonna pay later. And if you create the discipline now, then you can avoid the prescriptions and doctor visits and doctor bills later. One way or another, the bill always comes due. So stop worrying about the price tag and start focusing on doing the work. The right gym is the one that you will actually use. And if you want a blueprint, you know, built for you that combines training, nutrition, lifestyle, something sustainable, something that can work, subscribe to my channel. I give you lots of great actionable advice, and I got lots of good content coming out that takes all the guesswork out of it. And listen, remember this. I always say, every passing minute is another chance to turn it all around. It's never too late. I'll see you in the next one.